Welcome to Geek Tech Live. This is Chris, your host, and in this episode I am very excited to be able to talk about the WakaWaka Light that I was able to back via a Kickstarter program online. So let's talk about the WakaWaka Light and what it is and why it's so freaking cool. So I know a lot of you are looking at Kickstarter and playing around with Kickstarter, and you kind of say, well, how do I know what one's the back? There's a whole bunch of things where you could talk about it, whether or not you pick the correct one or what you're really looking for. I can tell you what I look for when I look for a Kickstarter. I look for something that's not just giving me something, but giving back to someone else. In this case, we're talking about the WakaWaka Light. And other than the fact that it has a really cool name, it's basically a solar-powered array on the front of this panel right here. It's actually a kind of an interesting solar panel. I'm used to seeing the glass solar panels that you typically run across when you look at or think about a solar panel. You kind of think it's glass, it's something breakable. At first, I actually thought I got a defective unit just because it's got a very state-of-the-art, I would call it, or something I've never seen before, type of solar panel. On a very, very, very oblique angle, you can actually make out the individual tiles inside the solar panel. So this right here, this black sort of matte finish, is actually the solar panel itself. On the back, you have some LEDs. There's a big brown, dark gray button with a big power symbol on it. That's basically how you run the whole thing. So what do you do with this? If you need to do some camping, or just you're going to be away from some place where you know you need to charge something up, like say a smartphone or an iPad. You have children, you don't have children, you have your own iPad, doesn't matter. You want to charge something up and you're going to be away from power or some sort of power, then the WakaWaka Light is exactly where you want to be. You buy one of these. If you backed them on Kickstarter, you got your choice of color and a bunch of different options. The device itself can be found on WakaWakaLight.com. They're on Twitter at WakaWaka Light as well. And they have a Facebook page if you do a search for WakaWaka Light. Basically, it has a solar panel on the front, and then, like I said, these LEDs on the back and the big power button. What it's meant to do is if you press the button, the lights themselves light up, and then you can diminish the light as you press the buttons until they go off. If you take the bottom section, it actually kind of clicks out. The bottom area right here actually can sit on top of a soda bottle, 2-liter soda bottle, so you can actually have it sit up above things, and you can then either set it to grab the rays of the sun, or it flips all the way around so that you can then position the light to light up, let's just say, a campsite or a dark room or something if you happen to lose power, let's even say. On one side, it has a sort of a mini USB, and on the other side, it has a full USB slot. You can buy a charger unit and actually plug it in to charge it. On this side, it has an internal battery, which obviously you are charging when you expose it to light. Across the top, it has 4 LEDs that tell you the power, and an LED all the way to the other side, which tells you whether or not you're actually charging the internal battery via solar or other means. The USB, and here's where it actually gets interesting, the original WakaWaka Light basically was just a light. You plugged it in or you set it in the sun. It takes about 8 hours to charge. When you're all done with that, you have 40 hours of LED light, and that's all it did. It lit up things, it allowed you to read at night. They actually donated a ton of these to people in need, and it was such a big hit they came out with this one. This one is actually version 2. Version 2 has the USB on the side, and this is where I was saying before, if you're going to want to charge something like an iPhone or an iPad or a Nexus tablet, anything that has a USB that you charge via, this can save your can. you can run it off the battery inside and charge it via and use the lights and charge it via the sun, or you can charge your cell phone. So how is this giving back to the environment and the world or whatnot? I'm assuming you all remember